Hey everyone, today I'm looking at Lost Planet for the 360. It's funny, this game, it really takes me back because it originally was going to be essentially an exclusive for the Xbox 360 and eventually got ported over, but you can just tell it was really made with the 360 in mind. And this really brings me back to kind of the very beginning of the launch of the 360 and what it was capable of. So when I saw Lost Planet, I saw things like these kind of realistic graphics, how the physics were working, the fact that you had a little grappling hook, which of course wouldn't become standard until like the next console generation, which is kind of surprising, honestly. There were just so many things, the way the character moved, the way everything felt in the environment, felt like very detailed and everything. I just remember this game blew me away back in the day. Within like IGN demos and whatever in the store. And so the basic premise of Lost Planet is you were on this alien planet that they've tried to colonize essentially and try to terraform. And it is basically all snow and ice, and it's basically stuck in an ice age. And there's been multiple colonization attempts, and basically the human civilization has been destroyed by these creatures called the Acrid. And so you play as Wayne, this guy who is a colonist / snow pirate, and his job is to essentially fight against the corrupt government and the Acrid themselves and discover kind of a bigger conspiracy as to what's going on. That's pretty much the story. The gameplay revolves around mostly fighting Acrid. And there's just really small ones that kind of just are kind of pesky kind of creatures that are kind of like mobs, and you just shoot them normally. And then you have these bigger ones where they have glowing orange weak spots that you have to shoot and take them out. And so it's a third-person shooter. I mean, the way you walk and move in this game is very just interesting. Because it feels kind of clunky, but also very smooth at the same time. And so, every time you beat one of these Acrid, they'll die and leave a bit of thermal energy behind. And so thermal energy is basically your life. So as you're in the environment, it's always cold and freezing, and it's constantly going down. And so you need to kill enemies in order to get their thermal energy and basically stay alive. In the game, you have a series of weapons from, machine guns, assault rifles, shotguns, pistols, rocket launchers eventually, and so use all of these, to basically defend yourself and explore the environment. Again, as I just mentioned, the fact that there was a grappling hook this early in games as a trope or something. I remember the grappling hook felt amazing, and it's kind of shocking how it didn't immediately become an industry trend right there, and it took like a generation to become standardized because it felt really, really good. And I thought, I can aim at any like vertical surface, I can just like go there. That's so cool. And besides the weapons you use on the ground, you also get these mechs that you basically pilot, and those are for the more cinematic portions of the game and for fighting obviously the larger Acrid. But yeah, there's really not much to say. This is one of those giant bug sci-fi space shooters like Starship Troopers, but everything is cold. And of course, in the game you will be fighting other mechs as well. And the ending of this game really surprised me because I remember your mech, it essentially transforms and gets this really giant super mode to it. It's almost kind of like Gundam, but almost like a little bit more in terms of just how intense and hard it goes. And yeah, you'll encounter other characters throughout the story. Some characters that are hostile, new villains, stuff like that. And again, Lost Planet has a very distinct vibe and feel and controls and everything. And it just really reminds me of a time in gaming where we were going from, a point of innovation to a time of maybe, standardization. And so everyone was just trying everything. They were trying as much as they could, as much as possible. Will this work? Will this work? We're not sure. Let's just kind of go for it. And every game felt so unique and so interesting and so, distinct, essentially, that you couldn't wait to see what someone was going to make next. But yeah, at the end of the day, Lost Planet is a giant, space bug shooter. lots of fun. Don't have to do a lot of thinking. And again, this is kind of, I would say, a piece of I don't know, a game history. This is where you saw this was kind of the game where you saw a real shift to like, this is what next gen games are going to be like, and it really set the standard in a lot of funny ways. And it's also weird that its sequels, Lost Planet 2, and I think there's even a third one, just really didn't feel the same, or they didn't innovate as much, and they became more of a multiplayer focused kind of game with online play with like hundreds of players in a match or whatever. But yeah, for some reason it never got super popular, but I guess that's a story for another day. Anyway, great game. I'll see you guys later. Bye.